William with William Burdine Photography. I really enjoy the wedding photography that I do, especially the corporate event photography that I do, where I'm there for an entire day for the bride and groom and a member of their family, or at event photography or corporate photography, where I get to be part of the team, part of the company, and I get an opportunity to learn some amazing things, as well as produce on-point brand imaging and love to do the portrait photography for some people, as you can see in some of these images I've captured, where I just really find that essence in those moments. However, all of these cannot be done without using the tools that you're given. Your camera, Adobe Lightroom. You've got to be able to take great photos and then be able to process them. I was watching this video by Anthony Morganti the other day about 3 features in Lightroom that he uses almost every single time and most people don't. One of these features I want to talk about and really focus in on because it's one of the features that I use a lot that makes it possible for me to go through a lot of photography. With event photography, I am literally shooting 1,200 to 2,500 photos, given that I have a second photographer with me for a wedding or an event, a corporate event, and that's a lot of photos to go through, especially if the contract asks or stipulates that they want images the very next day by 8 or 10 a.m. My goal is to use the tools that I have with the camera and Adobe to be able to produce those before I go to bed, so they have them in their Dropbox or whatever tool that they want, their delivery location, by 6 a.m. the next morning. So I want to talk about that. So in this video, I'm going to talk about process and culling. Culling is the main part of this video. Culling with your camera and culling with Lightroom. So here we go. In this video by Anthony, he really talked and hammered home the selection process. And I love this because he talks about the rating system and the flagging system. So I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into that. In this event that I just shot the other day, which is a lot of fun, it's about a bunch of flow dancers. And these flow dancers really were amazing because in an event photography situation, I'm always dealing with lights, I'm always dealing with changes of people, movement. Think about it for a wedding. We've all been to a wedding. The bride looks very different in sunlight versus in the shade versus at the reception party. I mean, and even during the entire ceremony itself, whether it's indoors or outside. And as the sun moves or we get delays, everything shifts. In corporate photography, stage, lights, movement, and then they want pictures of people interacting in the foyer or in the networking or even in the crowd shots. All these environments are very different. So honing my skills with fire dancing photography is a great way to do that. And so that's why I'm using these photos. But I'm going to process these photos like I would normally do. But first, let's talk about what Anthony was talking about in his video. So in the selection process, notice we're in the library image, or the library part of Adobe Classic. The reason for that is because we can go through these fairly quickly because it's doing a small render. It's not doing a full render as the develop module would do. The library module allows you to cull through things really quickly or scan through photos really, really fast as I go back and forth with the left and right arrow keys. In Anthony's video, he was talking about using P to flag a photo, or X to reject a photo, or hitting one of the number keys to actually rate it. But notice every single time I push a key, I actually have to hit another key, which would be, let's see, X, we're going to reject it, then I have to hit the arrow key to go to the next photo. Well, his shortcut was, if you press the caps lock, as soon as you do something with a photo, it jumps to the next photo. Okay, that's a little bit faster, but when you're doing corporate or wedding photography and you've got 1,200 to 2,500 images, I just ate up 2 seconds per photo, and that's a lot of time. You do the math. 2,500 photos, 2 seconds per photo, you're there for a while. So let's clear these all out, and I'll show you exactly what it is that I do. Let's clear all the flags first, and to clear all the flags, I've selected all the photos that I just messed with. I'm going to hit the apostrophe key, that clears all the flags, And then because I have some of them that are rated, I'm going to hit the 0 key, and that clears out all the ratings. Now, the ratings are important because in your camera, as you're shooting the event, you can actually use the rating button to cull through your images. Say you're shooting an event or wedding and you have a lull in the event or the wedding, you can go off to the corner and cycle through the last 25, 50 images and use the rating button. Like on the Canon, it's on the back of the camera on the upper left, it says rate. You hit the rating button, it will actually star an image. The number of times you star it is the number of stars it'll get, 1 through 5. Those will correspond directly into Lightroom, which is beautiful because here while I'm at the corporate event or at the wedding and I'm showing the back of the camera to people, they're literally going, wow, that's a really cool photo. And I will rate that immediately so I make sure that I have that photo for them as a highlight photo for the next day. And boy, let me tell you, when you wow your clients, they love to recommend you, and I love being recommended by my clients. So let me show you how that works. As I've brought in photos into Lightroom, I'm going to do something very different. I'm going to hit Command A, and I selected all 277 photos, and then I'm going to hit X. This now rejects all the photos. Now in Anthony's video, which I'll reference below, he talks about deleting rejected photos. Now you want to delete rejected photos for 2 reasons. One, you don't want to use it. It's beyond repair, beyond something you want to work with. And number 2, file management. So both of them have key reasons why you'd want to use deleted rejected photos. Now you can also right click on any highlighted photo, or in this case I've got them all selected, and I can literally say remove photos, and it'll give me that same interaction box of remove them from Lightroom, which takes them out of the catalog, or delete them from the disk. Now, why would you want to remove photos out of Lightroom? You want to remove them out of Lightroom because 1, you don't want to work with them, or 2, you need your catalog to move a little bit faster. So it's a performance kind of thing. If you delete it from disk, it deletes it out of the catalog and it deletes it off the disk, and that is great for space management or file management and helping reduce the amount of space that these files take up. Imagine, I'm shooting with an R6, I'm getting 20 to 23 megabyte files in RAW, and these files take up a lot of room, and if I'm not going to do anything with them, or if I'm not processing them, why should I keep them? I'll get rid of them, but more on that a little bit later. So because I've selected all of these photos and I've literally said reject, that doesn't mean I want to throw them all away. Remember I was telling you about the rating system on the back of the camera? I snuck off, looked at some of these photos, shared them with some of these fire dancers, and they were like, wow, I would really love to have that. Boom, here's a case in point. So I just clicked on rating. Notice every single one of these have a 1-star rating. Now it could have had a 4, 3, or 2, or 5-star rating. It didn't really matter. To me, all it mattered that is these are photos I want to work with as fast as I possibly can. Notice that there's 49 out of 277. So I've really reduced the number of photos that I want to work with right away, so I can turn them over very quickly. And think about this for a corporate or wedding photography situation. Corporate, they need them there by 8 a.m. so their social media team can get them out, so that they can possibly sell more tickets the next day. They get them up on their social media because it was a really big event for them, or they really wanted to highlight other people and keep their content fresh. Wedding, the bride and groom are now on their way to their honeymoon, and they get a notification, hey, you've got photos to look at, and they get some highlight photos, some beautiful highlight photos. Now, of course, these are not finalized photos. These are highlight photos. So you're not doing your absolute best rendering on them, but you do them good enough for social media that they love them. And that's the point here. So since I have all of these selected, these 49 rated by my camera, I'm going to hit P. Remember, P is for pick. Now, why would I want to do that? Well, these are the ones that I want to get out for social media or for my clients to make them happy. Now, if you go to filters off, you'll notice those are still rated and the other ones are still rejected. Why the 2 different systems? Well, in Adobe, if it's flagged, you have the ability to actually remove the photos and delete it out, right? The flag itself is is not there. I mean, the rating itself doesn't do anything. It's just another system for you to actually, like, however you cull through things. It could be that you have a rating system that you want to process this for this artist. Like, I've got 1 star belongs to this artist, and 2 star belongs to this artist. And I mean, like, however you do your images, it doesn't really matter. However you rate your images, it doesn't matter. The point is, we want to get through images quickly. Now, I can go through all 49 of these images really lightning fast now, and I love that. So here's the cool thing. The reason why we want to reject them is, look up here. This is my 2022 catalog. All the photos that I've shot, that I've kept and processed. I've got 41,000 photos for the year so far of weddings, events, just all kinds of fun stuff that I've been very blessed to go and shoot. Some product categories for a photo shoot that we did. Humanitarian awards, which, yeah, the alligator did not get a humanitarian award, but we just happen to have a reptile specialist there, which added to the fun. But here's the thing about these photos. At the end of the year, you have all of these rejected photos. Let's go back into the filters off really quick. See all these rejected photos in here? I want to get rid of them. But how do I pull them out? Well, the really cool thing about it is you can go to flagged, and in your flag, you're on accepted. These are the ones that you picked. You can turn that flag off, and you can turn on the negative flag, and then look what happened. Here are all your negative files. All the ones that you rejected, you can literally hit Command A, and then now we can remove the photos and delete them from the hard drive, therefore saving space on the hard drive, as well as saving and increasing our performance in our catalog if we need to go back to the year 2022. So it's a beautiful way of working with it. Also, I just want to bring to mention that they do have a no flag that you can actually click on. So there's zero that were that were not flagged. So everything either has a flag or it has a reject flag. And same thing for rating. There's an unrated system. So these are all the unrated ones. So it's a couple different ways that you can sort through your content, right? Okay, cool. What I absolutely love, and I'm going to come into the bonus here, I want to thank Anthony Morganti for showing me something that I have wondered about. I've come in here and I've clicked on this little bubble multiple times by accident, not knowing what it does. But in his video, it was great. He explained to me that this is your collection. Right now, I have best images as my default, my target collection. I have really, like, done stupid amounts of time in the past going through every single photo library, picking out the best photos for the year, and this is now a new shortcut trick for me. As I'm processing a catalog and I have a photo that I am totally wowed by, I can literally click on that little thing and boom, there it is. This photo is now in my collection of best of images for 2022. So Anthony Morganti, thank you so much for that. I really truly appreciate that shortcut, because that is going to take a lot of time off of my plate, and I really enjoy that. So guys, I want to encourage you to go watch more of Anthony Morganti's shortcuts and Lightroom tips. I mean, some of them are really amazing, and his videos are really short. They're usually under 15 minutes. This one, I tried. It's a little bit over that. But I just wanted to emphasize that Lightroom's a really powerful tool, but it's an ancillary to your entire production, your entire selective process, your entire photography. Your first thing really should be your culling on the back of your camera. And I know it's a bad habit for a lot of photographers to get in to chimp right away. In other words, like, oh, I took a picture, let me look at it. Let me take a picture, let me look at it. Like, that's not what I'm encouraging here. I'm encouraging you, do your work, shoot what you're supposed to capture, and in the lull times, go back through the last 25 to 50 photos and rate the good ones. Show your clients what it is that you're capturing. If they go, ooh, wow, I love that, rate it, because when you have the opportunity to come into Lightroom, you now have all your rated photos. Those are the ones that are important. These are the ones that you can turn over to your client, and all the rest of them you can either choose to delete or not work with or what have you. But anyway, those are my tips for you guys. Thank you, Anthony Morganti, for really showing off some really cool stuff in Lightroom. And I hope this workflow process was something that you haven't seen before, because that would be a total gift for me, is that you haven't seen this fast processing. And as a wedding and corporate event photographer, getting through up to 2,500 photos in one night is a huge, huge accomplishment. So with that, you guys, I really want to say thank you so much for coming in here and watching my video with William Burdine Photography. And if you need corporate photography, wedding photography, I'm located in San Diego, California, and I'm happy to talk to you. And by the way, if you've got a comment on this video, I'm looking forward to interacting with people and growing my YouTube channel a little bit more. So go ahead and do that proverbial like and subscribe thing, because I really want to teach not only other people what I've learned and the shortcuts out of my experience, but also this is a library for my photography company. This is what I want to show other clients that I'm working with, other photographers that I'm working with, so that they can literally see the quality of the work, the processes that they also need to go through to also work with me. So with that, you guys, have a wonderful day. May it be a blessed one, and have a fun time shooting and processing. Take care.